waiting game continues for Aaron Rodgers. Let's call it an information darkness retreat. Mind you, Pittsburgh cleared the path for the fourth-time All-Pro after Russell Wilson and Justin Fields got up out of there, leaving a standing offer on the table for Rodgers. I'm banking on our senior NFL writer, Jeremy Fowler, to help us shed some light on this here situation. Now, Jeremy, what more can you tell us about where things stand between Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers currently?
Yeah, well, people I've checked with the team say that they remain optimistic about Aaron Rodgers. They have had contact with Rodgers in recent weeks, but they don't have a hard and fast update. So they wish they had more clarity here, but this looks like systems go that he is plan A. They're going to wait this out. They know that he's had some family things or some personal issues that he's talked about in the Pat McAfee show that he has to work through. And so they're willing to remain patient. I saw team president Art Rooney II at the owners' meetings earlier this week. He said, we're going to wait, quote, a little while longer. So Rodgers plan A, Kirk Cousins could be a viable plan B. After making some calls today, I do believe he's been on their radar. If something were to fall through with Rodgers, certainly they could reconvene, call Atlanta, see if they could try to shake something out. But right now, Rodgers is the guy.
Now, Art Rooney may be willing to wait, but that's not necessarily the case for Jalen Ramsey. He's probably waiting with a little bit more bated breath. Any updates on his situation and a potential trade there?
Yeah, so I was told Miami has been in contact and in talks with several teams about Ramsey. So nothing imminent yet, in part because of that $24 million in guarantees that he is owed in 2025. The Dolphins haven't shown a willingness to pay a lot of that money. Neither do teams. Now, the LA Rams have been loosely involved here. They won a Super Bowl with Ramsey. They're very familiar with the player. Nothing hard and fast, though, as far as a deal. NFC East could be one to watch. Dallas Cowboys, look, they made 3 trades this offseason, 4 players on rookie deals. Could they make a 4th trade on a NFL veteran who's on a bigger contract? Certainly, but they need cornerback help. When I checked with somebody in Dallas, they said, look, it's possible we might not be done. It's slow right now, but, we could always be looking to add.
Look, there is no question that the 3-time All-Pro corner who will turn 31 in October will certainly be an asset to anyone's roster. Jeremy Fowler with the latest. We appreciate it, bro.
Back to the NFL, where number 1 overall pick Cam Ward has the inside track to start at quarterback for the Titans this season. Coach Brian Callahan already likes what he sees from Ward and OTA, saying, quote, it's the leadership ability and the way he's able to make those around him better, unquote. Now, Ward currently listed with the second shortest odds at ESPN Bet Sportsbook to win the league's Offensive Rookie of the Year award. Vince Young was the last Titan to win the award back in 2006. Raiders running back Ashton Jeanty is currently the slight favorite. And senior NFL writer Jeremy Fowler is back with us now. Jeremy, walk us through the latest you're hearing about early impressions of these rookie quarterbacks, and start with Cam Ward, please.
Number 1 overall pick, Jay, has been as advertised inside Tennessee's building. They knew he was immensely talented, but I was told they really had to even kick him out of the offensive coach's room at times, and then that's not hyperbole. They literally had to kick him out because coaches had to do other things at the time. Like, he is hungry for information. So lately it's been him and Will Levis kind of splitting reps. That will probably be the case in OTAs. I expect that to change once Ward takes further hold of that job. And you got Jackson Dart. So look, this is a situation where the Giants hit it off with Dart. When you talk to coaches and people in that building, they are just thrilled with kind of not only his moxie, but the way he works in the building, the way he sort of has a good feeling of what Brian Daboll wants out of a quarterback. So it's only a matter of time when he plays. They have been highly impressed so far with him. Russell Wilson will be the guy, at least in the short term. Then it will be Dart. Then you got Tyler Shuck here. So I was told that he has been smart and accurate in the first 2 weeks of practices with the Saints. That is what stood out about him, and that's to be expected. A lot of experience in college. He's in his mid-20s, so they knew that coming in that he would really fit that mold, and he's got the arm strength. But Spencer Rattler has been making a little bit of a move here, too. Year 2 jump. The coaches last year really liked him, even though he kind of underproduced on the field, but he was put in a bad situation, not a lot of help. So Rattler and Shuck are going to be kind of trading blows here for the next few weeks.
Okay. The Saints, by the way, have started 8 different quarterbacks since Drew Brees retired, second most in the NFL in that span. All right, despite all these rookie QBs, Jeremy, we just saw that it's actually Ashton Jeanty who's favored to be Offensive Rookie of the Year this season. So take us through the expectations they have for Mr. Jeanty in Vegas.
Well, so far they've seen the explosion on the field. They haven't done a lot of sort of tackling. It's so early in the offseason, but he works hard. His footwork is great. The explosion's great. Like, they're thinking of all the ways they could use him. In fact, Chip Kelly, the new offensive coordinator, plans to use him a lot in the passing game as well. Okay. So that's partly why he could be the Offensive Rookie of the Year. He's going to get looks both ways. The Raiders legitimately feel like between him and Brock Bowers, they could have one of those elite duos in the passing and running game that the Raiders haven't had in a long time. And clearly they've upgraded a quarterback with Geno Smith. Last year they had one of the worst quarterback situations in the entire league.
They did. In case you're wondering, the last running back to win Offensive Rookie of the Year, Saquon Barkley in 2018. Jeremy Fowler, my dude. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Jay.
To buy that gift until the last possible second, because of course we're still sitting here, it's nearly June, and we're waiting for Aaron Rodgers to sign with his football team. If they don't sign, and the Pittsburgh Steelers of course looking at Will Howard and Mason Rudolph at quarterback, which feels kind of like Mike Tomlin trying to up the difficulty level on his winning season streak. But even if they do sign him, I think about that Arthur Smith offense and how it really leans into play action, the quarterback run game. Those are not things Aaron Rodgers is going to be doing in his 40s here, even if he does sign with the Steelers. So, as you know, if you wait till the last second to get that gift, you don't get the best gift, but at least you get something. And the Steelers probably need something right now.
That is true. You do at least get something. Of course, we're talking about Aaron Rodgers. So, Minnie, your thoughts on that superlative?
I think Bill nailed it when he said when you wait a while to get a gift, it ends up being something your kid might not really want, but it's the only thing there at Target. No, I'm not speaking from experience because Aaron Rodgers was not a top quarterback by any metric last year. He was 32nd in air yards per attempt, 26th in QBR. The list goes on. We are obviously seeing decline in play. But I would also argue there's a double-sided aspect to this for Pittsburgh. Yes, he's not as good as he was, but he also might be too good, which is to say he might guide them to a mediocre finish that could make it harder for them to get their quarterback of the future next year. So if I'm a Steelers fan, I have mixed feelings about waiting for Aaron Rodgers for a number of reasons.
I have mixed feelings about this superlative just altogether without discussing it. But Jeremy, what are some important dates that are coming up that could lead to a decision from Aaron Rodgers?
Well, the Steelers don't know, if they're even getting a gift or when they're getting a gift at all. But at least the two benchmark dates we have, OTAs, May 27th. They would love to have him there for OTAs. There is no guarantee that he will be there. And then a few weeks later, early to mid-June, you have minicamp. So they are hopeful at some point in that time frame, Aaron Rodgers will have a practice jersey on, throwing the football. So when I check with people with the team, they say really a similar mindset, that they still are optimistic. They remain optimistic. They have been in contact with Aaron Rodgers, but beyond that, they don't have a firm update. Nothing is imminent. In fact, the whole Steelers front office is out at a retreat for scouting purposes that they do every year. So it's not really on the radar for something to happen right now. I saw President Art Rooney, the team president, at the owners' meetings. He said we're going to wait a little while longer.
So basically, if it happens, it happens. That seems like the attitude, what it looks like when you're talking about Aaron Rodgers in a Steelers situation. So,
yeah.
Okay, Bill, let's move on to the AFC East and a team with a lot of questions, the Dolphins. What's your superlative there?
They are least likely to find a good solution to their most pressing problem, and that is Jalen Ramsey, the legendary cornerback who requested a trade. It feels like both sides want to do something. The problem is this request came in the middle of April, at which point a lot of teams, frankly, had spent most of their money for the offseason. Ramsey's due $23.5 million guaranteed this year. It's going to be tough for teams to even find that money in their budget. On top of that, a player on the wrong side of 30, meniscus tears in his past in both knees. Jalen Ramsey's still a good football player, but maybe not that lockdown guy from a few years ago. And it's going to be tough for the Dolphins to get him off their roster, perhaps without eating some of the money